Okay, Leon's gonna light the fuse. Looks like we got one that didn't go off. Boo! So that's a shock tube sticking out of the rock, but that doesn't scare me because when you grab it, it just comes out. And on the other side of the rock is a great big hole. And so you know that there's nothing left in there. But that other one, when you pull on it, it doesn't come out. So, and there's info in the hole, so you know it's a live hole. Hey, mate, the beaver. Muskrat. No, that's a beaver, ain't it? There he goes. Okay, there it is, finished product. These rocks here, they're all gonna get covered with dirt out even with the bank. And then if you can see down here, down there where the rocks don't look dirty anymore, that's all gonna be exposed to water. So Matt's down doing a little cosmetic cleanup work on that one, pushing the rocks in the top down and getting some smaller ones to lock it all together so that we don't lose them off of there during high water. So I got one more down here where he's dug the trench. Let's go have a look see at that one. So these right here are the center line of the barb. So the barb's gonna go straight out through here. So Matt's clearing an area there. We're gonna come in through here and snake over here to come in with the loader and bring the rocks. And then he's got to clear out some of these trees. All these. So that tree will go, so the barb's gonna come out in through here. So this is all ground that the only time it gets water is during high water. So like I said, the barb will be mostly buried down in this because we'll have to trench down into, I'm sure they got a grade on this one, a cut grade. And then I don't even know if it goes even out to the water. It may reach that water, but it's not going to go out in there. So he's just got to get this mess cleaned up. I'm going to go movie 613 tonight to another job, and then tomorrow he's got to go run that, but he'll have all this cleaned out, and then we'll stake it out, and then I can get started on it tomorrow myself, start hauling in rocks and placing them. So Matt's running the excavator, and Matt has a college degree in geomatics, which is surveying. And when he got out of school, he worked for us for a while, and then he went up into Montana. Well, actually his first job was down in McCammon, Idaho. He's working for Scarcella Brothers out of Washington State. And when they found out he could not only run equipment but fix it and shoot grade, he was doing a lot of jobs. They really liked him. Matt's the kind of he's the kind of surveyor you would want on a job, because he understands what it takes to move the dirt and get it done. He would make an even better engineer because he understands that. And then he went clear up into northern Montana for a couple of years and worked for Scarcella's up there. So he's our grade guy. He's pretty invaluable when it comes to grade. And I'll tell you a story. One day, he was still in school when this happened, but we had a dispute with a customer, and it was all over what the engineering company had done to us. And we had a big meeting, and they got out their big guns and their papers and presented all their evidence, and Matt shut them down with one question. And the customer, he didn't know what happened. He said, "So what happened? What's going on here?" And they had to explain to him it was their fault. And then the customer was no longer mad at us. He was mad at the engineer. But it's hard to explain to a customer the mistakes an engineer makes. They don't understand. And when they actually got to sit down and watch a 20-year-old kid put some experienced engineers in their place, it was pretty impressive. We laughed and laughed when we left. His education was worth every penny. So they want us to take the trees and tuck them down along the edge of the river to dispose of them. So these right here, he's just tipping off, and then he'll tuck them down there along the bank. And Mr. Beaver can have at them. You know, that's one cool thing about having this big excavator is you can just manhandle trees and stuff easy. Matt's talking to the engineer because their numbers on the plans don't match what they got on the stake. So Matt's digging out where that barb goes. That's the end of it right there, those two stakes. He's got to dig down 6 feet, so maybe some of it along that edge will end up in the water. This barb right here will it'll only serve its purpose during high water, so we won't even have to build them like we did the other ones. We'll build this one from that end back, and we won't have to go back down there and put it on a 12%. We'll just build it all from the one end because we'll be on dry ground. So that's awesome. So I just thought of this. So because we bought an excavator, this is one of those jobs that we can now do, whereas before somebody else would end up doing it because we didn't have the ability to do any of this work. We didn't have an excavator. So we've been putting the fuel catalyst in this machine that Bruce Mallinson sent us, and so far it seems to be working. We haven't really checked the fuel consumption because we didn't have any records before, but I can tell you it didn't regen today till about 3 o'clock. Seems like it only regens about once a day versus before it would regen 3 times a day. So I think it's working. So I'm gonna assume that if you're only regenning once a day versus 3, that DPF filter should last a lot longer. And as expensive as that thing is, it's worth every penny. Now I've got a brand new EGR cooler in a box in the shop because it's getting close to the 4,000 hour mark, and my understanding is at about 4,000 you need to replace it, because when the EGR, let's say it's got a leak in it and you park it and it starts really leaking, it'll fill your aftercooler with antifreeze, and then you'll go to start it and it'll suck all that antifreeze in, and it'll hydrolock the engine, bend all the rods, and then you've got to go into the engine. So that's the last thing I want to do. So all this emissions reduction, oh, bug flying on me. All this emissions reduction stuff comes at a price to the owner, but is a way bigger cost if I don't do anything and then ruin it. So anyway, just a tip to you, if you've got something like this, I would definitely try that fuel catalyst they have. That gallon jug, I can't remember, it's like 3 ounces to 75 gallons of fuel. So you got a gallon, which would be how many ounces? 132 ounces. So it'll go a long ways, but I think that DPF is like $4,000 or something like that. So for a couple $100, it's worth it to save it. Now I could send it to Mexico like Alex does and have that all remedied, but then your dealer ain't gonna work on it if you got a problem, and then you go to sell it and that's a bigger problem. So we'll just keep all that stuff on there and try to take care of it the best we can. That's a beautiful job setting we have here. What do you think? Oh, good Tuesday morning. Everything's great here at 83221. Hope you guys have an awesome day. Got some packages going out. Let's go have a look. So I got a box going out to Canada to Grant. Grant, I got some extra stuff in there for you. Enjoy. Got a shirt going to Michael in Farmington, New Jersey. Michael Benz. And let's see, I think I got a calendar going to Rodney Felker, Camden, New York. Couple of shirts, Filthy Horse shirt and an Anderson shirt to Jesse Cooper in OK City, Oklahoma. A hat and Killdozer going to Dennis Ryan in Highland. Dennis, love you, man. You send me all this stuff and then you buy stuff from me. Oh, and I think we had a hat going to Rodney Felker also in Camden. And a hat going to Tanner Hayes in Seminole, Oklahoma. So you guys have an awesome day. I'm going to go work on the river. So, got some new grease I'm using now. Used to use this years ago. This is a Hydrotex called Pintac. And this is moly-based grease for bucket pins and bushings, scraper hitches, that kind of stuff. Remember the old white grease I was using? It was, can't even remember the name of it. Anyway, apparently they went tits up. That was a white lithium grease. We really liked it just because it was sticky and it would stay put. But I think they lied to me. I told them, I said, I need a 3 to 5% moly grease. They, oh yeah, ours got that in there. Well, it was white. There's no such thing as a moly grease that's white. If it's got moly in it, it's a dark color. So anyway, it seems to be pretty good grease. That's what we're using now. So this is the other one. This is the last one, and that's where she starts. So basically we'll just dump it in there and bring it clear back here to where he's dug it. I'm hoping we got enough rocks. I think we will. It does have to go up fairly high. So if we got any leftovers, we'll probably put them out here to protect this material that's here. Anyway, we're getting close to being done. Then we're going to move up the river here about 1.5 miles or so and fix a hole in a diversion. So I got guys who don't like the noise. I actually toned down the volume. But have you ever been to the movies? You notice during all the loud parts, they don't turn the volume down. So I don't either. Ha! So this is the second barb. It's done. I'll bring up the grater and clean this up, but it's so powdery, there's not a lot you can do with it. So, there it is. That will change the direction of the river. Push it over there and push it across that gravel bar. Somebody asked me about couldn't you crush that and get it out of there? No. They're not going to let you mine in the river. You'd have to have all kinds of permits and blah blah. It ain't worth it, because that material is right under the dirt. So this whole valley is full of that, and there's gravel pits everywhere. And that's where we get our aggregate and we crush it. Nobody crushes lava rock, because lava rock is not a, well, it makes a really good sub base, but it's no good to drive on. So, and it's just so hard when you can strip a foot of dirt off ground like this, or foot and a half, 2 feet, and get that nice round rock and crush it. It's just way more economical and cheaper, so that's what we do. See you tomorrow. Look at the turkeys. I've never seen that many down here at one time. That's crazy. Gobble, gobble, gobble. Okay, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to fetch that rock with what looks to be a live hole in it. And I'm going to carefully pick it up and toss it in the water. It's got to go. I think it'll be the best. If it is an actual live hole, it'll be the best thing to do with it. If I can reach in here and get it. Well, I don't know. I'm too far in now. Trees in the way. Come on. Come on, baby. There we go. There we go. That will be no more problem now. So my earthquake finally showed up from Bob Frakes, along with some cool stuff. Some leather stuff he makes himself, him and his wife. Some Jpaydirt key tags. Thank you for that, Bob. Appreciate that. So this was an interesting story. So Bob wanted $40 for this. He ended up taking it off of a kid who stole it. Anyway, he sent it to me via UPS. UPS soaked him $138 and then returned it before we could get down there. They didn't leave a contact number or anything on the tag. So what I did is I just sent Bob a good old Jpaydirt postal sticker from the United States Postal Service. And this was, I think, $52 was all to send it in the post office. So if you ever want to send something cheap to old Jpaydirt, call me. I'll send you a label. Don't waste your money with UPS. Oh, but anyway, I got it. And this one here, they got the big twist on end, but that's not a 1/2 inch inside diameter hose, so we'll just throw that away and put the large hose on it. And then we'll see what this baby does compared to the Ingersoll. This will be interesting.